our brand new, revised, revved up new podcast, Renew. So now with this new podcast, we're going to talk about how to reclaim your life without losing your edge. Because, you know, edge is a big thing, right? We don't want to lose that. So Whitney and Isaac and I have been meeting the last several months and trying to figure out what we could bring to everybody to kind of help them, because it's been some cruddy few months. Let's face it, we're not loving this. So we're going to help everyone over the next 12 months renew their life, their business, their finances, everything. So what we've got for you is each month we're going to have a new theme that we're going to dive into and go deep and bring in some awesome, amazing speakers and guests that can talk about it. So we're going to do things like we're going to renew your business, renew your health, renew your mindset, renew your finances. Tons of different topics like that over the next 12 months. So by a year from now, we're going to forget all about 2020 being the crap year that it was.
Amen.
And all be in a way better place. So I'm excited. Now, so to kick us off our new podcast, we decided for this first one, we were going to do an Ask Me Anything episode, because for any of you guys that follow me on social, this is my birthday week. And this is I know, I'm excited. So this is a big birthday. I've got the big 5-0 coming up on Friday. I was originally supposed to be in Italy for a really cool trip. I am not in Italy, as you can tell. I am here in Georgia.
Oui, mon chéri.
We might start talking a little Italian. We might bring out Italian wine. We just don't know. So today we've got to Ask Me Anything episode, because you know, when I've been sitting here, this is where Renew came out. And Isaac, the word just came to him. It was awesome, because it's like, I'm ready for this second half of my life, assuming I'm going to live to 100. I'm ready to kind of do some new stuff. So part of the Renew came with, not just for me, but let's change it up. Let's do some stuff. So I thought the best way to do that and to kick off this fun birthday week would be to answer any questions you guys have. It can be business. It can be personal, it can be professional, whatever questions you folks have, we are going to tackle them on the show today. So drop them in the comments if you haven't already, and let us know, and we're going to tackle them. Now, we had some people send in some already, so we have got some questions. I've seen a couple of the ones that came in online, but apparently there are some more that went directly to Whitney and Isaac that I have not seen yet. And Whitney keeps grinning. Like from the moment I've walked in this morning, she keeps grinning. So I'm a little bit nervous. I know. I'm a little bit nervous. All right. So what do we got? What do we want to start with? let's throw some softballs to me. Make it easy.
Yeah, people joining online too.
Awesome.
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. Excited.
Okay. All right. This is a softball. I'm going to throw you a softball.
I would
first.
appreciate the softball, because I'm feeling like I might need some softballs, because your little stinky grin right here. I'm thinking some of these aren't going to be fun.
Okay. So first of all, I love this Instagram handle, Bernadette Metal Mom.
Okay. Oh, yes. All right.
How cool is that?
Bernadette is a friend of mine who I've known forever and client. She is awesome.
Nice.
She's in the financial space, rock star, but she is like the coolest mom. Like
I can tell.
She has tattoos. She's like really artsy. She designs jewelry.
Nice.
She has an earring that she made called the Kristen, which is really cool, named after me. It's awesome. It's really cool. But she's all around cool, but very into like hard rock. So that's
awesome.
That question I did see, because she posted that on Instagram.
All right.
So read the question for us.
Since you have lived through 3 of arguably the best decades of rock and roll, I got to know which is your favorite, 70s, 80s, or 90s rock.
Okay, so I thought that was it. And I had to think about this. And thank goodness I saw this, because it would have caught me off guard. 70s, 80s, and 90s. If we're going through only those 3 decades, I'm going with the 80s.
I kind of felt that too.
All right, so a couple reasons. One, Bon Jovi is my all-time favorite. Like, I love Bon Jovi. I do like Green Day a lot too, and I think they were 90s. But Bon Jovi is, I mean, let's face it, girls, if we've seen the ad he did when he was 50, he was looking pretty good. So Bon Jovi is my top choice. But I was also kind of into the hairband era, which is maybe not rock and roll, but I got to go with 80s. I think Queen put out some good songs during the 80s.
Yep.
I think, I love classic rock like Kansas and 38 and stuff like that. But you also had the hair bands and the Bon Jovis and all that. So I am definitely going with the 80s. Plus, the style was fantastic.
Well, she knew you were going to
Did she? All right. So
The
Kwame knew.
80s.
Of course, she knew I was going to pick. Now, one thing I'll say about the '80s. Did you guys have? You guys were too. You were born in the '80s, so you don't even know this. So one of the things that was so cool about the '80s and the music was the fashion that came along with it.
Yeah.
So the neon colors was one, but the parachute pants. So you may not know parachute pants. For those of you young whippersnappers
Is that
listening,
like MC Hammer?
you have got no. Those were the baggy ones. You've got
okay,
to
sorry.
look up parachute pants. So for the whippersnappers out there, they were awesome, but they were probably, I'm guessing, early '80s, early to mid '80s. They were fantastic. So you should take a look.
Okay.
So I'm going with '80s Bernadette for the music and the fashion.
They did have some pretty good music videos come out of that.
There were some really good
Era.
music videos coming out of that for sure.
All right, one you haven't seen, but it's a new one that just came across from Amy, and I kind of want to know. Who is your perfect soulmate, your partner in crime?
Oh God. For some reason, I knew there would be a soulmate dating question come up, and I'm going to guess this isn't the first one. So, all right, for our longtime listeners, you guys know I don't get out of the house much. My perfect soulmate or partner in crime, it's a vibe thing for me, and people laugh at me like it. I can tell by a picture or seeing somebody if I'm
Yeah.
going to like them or not, if I'm going to vibe with them.
Yeah,
So that's
okay.
the first thing. If the vibe is not there, will not give it a second chance. I'm not the type that's like, yeah, let me go on 10 dates and see if he grows on me. Dating should not be a fungus. It should not grow on you. So my perfect soulmate would be, in partner in crime, uber driven, loves what they do, loves to help others. So that both those have to go hand in hand. So like work can't be a chore, but at the same time, they have to make me laugh. Like if you make me laugh, then that's awesome. But so I would say uber driven, totally have the vibe. Obviously cute, right? And good looking, but that would it. Driven, vibe, and what was it? Making me laugh. Those are the
Yes.
three, Amy. Keep your eyes out.
I was going to say, there you go. The
There you
three
go.
essentials.
That's it. That's
Revealing
it.
all.
Ken Cooper said about I had parachute pants.
Kim Cooper with the parachute pants. Thank
parachute
you.
pants.
We're going to
That
look them
is-
up. I will post a picture of some parachute pants. Whitney is sitting there going, I have no idea. They were
I thought that
fantastic.
was MC Hammer.
Mine
I
were
thought
purple.
MC Hammer had parachute
No,
pants.
those are MC Hammer were the big baggy, the little dance.
What about
pants.
the Ice Ice Baby Kid? Was that parachute pants?
Oh my gosh, that's like '90s. We're back in parachute
Fine.
pants were early '80s.
Fine. I'm fine.
So you still weren't born.
I'm done. Okay. Here's are you ready for an anonymous? I
Yes,
kinda
I'm
gave
ready
you
for an anonymous.
2 softballs. Okay.
Okay.
What is one thing you show your daughters each day that guides them to be who they are?
Oh, that's a good question. One thing I show my daughters each day that guides them to be who they are. I don't know if it's showing them as much as encouraging them, because my daughters, the three of them, are so fiercely different. And one of the things I've tried to do with them is encourage their uniqueness, because, I'm big on the uniqueifier. Trying to encourage their uniqueness. It has not always been easy for me, because I think when I was a younger, newer mom, I wanted them to be like me. I wanted them to, I was really into school. I was a cheerleader. I love fashion. I wanted them all to be like that. None of them, like maybe the little one. We've got a shot with the little one, but the other two, no. So I would say what I show them each day is encouragement around their interest. So even if I'm not loving what they're interested in, or even if I have no idea what they're talking about, which for my older two, half the time I have no idea what they're talking about, I try to just be interested and learn what I can. So I just show them that it's okay to be themselves, even
Nice.
as weird and as quirky as they are. Like one of the things recently, my middle daughter is 15, so she will be driving age next year. And of course, kids start talking about what cars they want. So my middle, Mia, has decided she wants a VW van, like a classic VW, like surfer look at, like she's obsessed. She wants to take it around the country. She's already said if she saves up enough money, we could road trip with it next summer. So like I'm learning all this stuff about VW vans, which are pretty cool. Like there's some
Yeah.
really cool vans.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
yeah, so that's why I try to encourage them.
Are you going to fix it up in the back? Like
She's already got she's
seen
on
them,
it.
yeah.
I posted a few pictures. She's
Nice.
on it. So, and the
Nice.
pictures I posted, she actually did that post.
Nice.
She designed the graphic for me because I was like, I want to post about, what we've been talking about. So I
Yeah.
just try to encourage whatever their uniqueifier is. Because I think that's when they really embrace who they are and they're
Yeah.
not made to feel weird for it. So.
I love that.
Christina Millsap posted a link of the parachute pants.
Christina, thank you for the link of the parachute
I
pants.
may have to get some.
They were great. So Christina and Kim, I know you guys know mine were purple. That was my favorite one. You know, they also come in black. Surprisingly, my favorite pair of parachute pants were not black. They were purple.
And Miriam said the pants are back in style.
Are they? I was unaware of that.
We're going to make them. We're going to
going to
bring
bring back. All right, that's
We're bringing them back.
Bring back the parachute pants. That's a new hashtag we're going to be doing.
It's done.
I like it. On it. All right. What's our next
Amazon
one?
after this. Okay. From Wendy Wynn on Facebook, she asked, have you ever struggled with a lack of confidence in who you are?
1,000,000% yes. As recently as probably this morning. So I think we all struggle with that to
Yeah,
a
we do.
degree.
Yeah.
I still struggle with it. I think most people do, especially women. But it gets better over time. So what helped me is I started doing more of the things I was good at. So I'm a big believer in strengths and finding
Yeah.
and uncovering your strengths. And once you know what it is you're really good at and you focus on those things, the confidence just naturally builds because you're doing things you're good at. You know, when companies talk about or businesses talk about, oh, let's work on your weakness, it's still going to be a weakness. It's
Right.
just going to be a good weakness. So I think what helps with confidence over time is figuring out what am I good at? Where do I want to go? So, yeah, that's a good question, Wendy.
Yeah.
But a lot of people do. So if you're struggling with that and listening, it's so common. Like that's where I have my group of girlfriends that I'll rely on and say, all right, and they need to kind of pep me up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of my, in your book,
In the book.
that's one of my favorite quotes is you say that in the book that
Yeah.
why are you going to focus on your weaknesses when they're only ever going to be
Yeah.
weaknesses? I mean,
Yeah.
that's what they are. You should focus on your strengths and expanding those. So.
It is. And I know corporately, you know, when I was starting out my career, my role was not utilizing my strengths. And it wasn't until that I started doing things and seeking positions that let me use my natural strengths more that I started getting more confident and felt better and had more fun. Because
Yeah.
honestly, we work a lot, right? So we might as well be having
Yep.
fun.
Yeah.
And you're not going to have fun if you're doing something you're not good at.
Yeah.
So that's the best way to build confidence.
Kim Cooper says, mine were red. This is so
Man, we're
weird
stuck on the parachute.
parachute-
We may need to
parachute pants.
devote an episode to fashion of the 80s. I'm feeling like. So.
We could dress up like the
Oh,
80s.
that's right. We may have an 80s. We may have a
Done.
throwback episode where we're doing fashion.
I've already got the hair.
I like
so.
it. I like it.
All right, next question.
Yes.
One thing you would tell your 30-year-old self. Just one.
Not to stay in relationships that you know are not working.
Ooh, I'm sorry. Could you say that one more time, please?
Yeah. So I would absolutely tell my 30-year-old self, good God, I hope my ex-husband's not listening to this, not to stay in relationships when you know they're not working.
Yeah.
Like if you've tried and you've made a valiant effort and you're like, time to go. Time
Yeah.
to go. Because we may waste. So I'm guilty of this. I've been guilty of it a couple of times, multiple times. And I know a lot of my friends are. If you know it's not working, get out. And this could be not just romantic or
Yeah.
marriages. This could also be friendships.
Yep.
So that would be my number one
Or-
for sure.
Family. Like,
Yeah.
I know you can't disown your family, but you can
But
put
you can
distance.
distance. You can
Yes.
distance. So like again, if they're not your people,
Yep.
they don't need to be taking up a majority of time or space in your world.
Yeah.
So that would for sure that'd be what I'd say.
All right, here comes another.
Okay.
Because I know we've kind of touched on this, and when I saw it came through, but I don't think we've kind of taken a little bit of a deep dive into
Okay.
this. How did you make the transition from your corporate career of like the financial industry into being a coach and owning your own business? Like, what did that transition look like?
So it goes back to the strengths and where I find my energy. So when I was in the financial world, I loved it. Had a great practice, had a great firm. We had fun, right? But what I was determining over time was that I wasn't utilizing all my strengths. I like to, I'm a big Clifton Strengths Finder. If you've done that assessment, I think it's fantastic. I use it with a lot of my clients. But when I did mine, communication is one of my strengths, which can be written or verbal. And in my old company, I really didn't have the opportunity to write and to speak, as we had a lot of compliance. So I wasn't really allowed to do that as much as I wanted. And one of my other 5 strengths from Clifton is significance, which sounds kind of, when I first read it, I was like, ugh, I don't like that, because it sounded very egotistical to me.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It was more about you wanted to have a broader impact. So after I had my third child, I kind of started looking at my career and was like, I can't communicate to the masses. I can't have as large of an impact as I want to in my firm, in my small firm. So I had to talk with my managing partner, who was extremely supportive. And he did. He looked at me and said, Chris, I think your impact is larger than this office. So with, his blessing, that's why I stepped down from my role and launched the coaching consulting firm. So it's been 11 years. But what's been cool about it is now, with all the work I do, I get to use all of my strengths. And I'm not doing any of the minutia and the things that weren't me.
Yeah.
So it really was a continual quest to figure out what I like, what I'm good at, and what brings me energy. Because if it's not bringing you energy and moving you closer, it's time to go. So that's why I made the switch, and I have not looked back. Like, I don't regret it at all.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are on that fence, like, all right, I really want to make a change, but I haven't. So I highly encourage, go after the energy.
Nice. I like that. All right, another anonymous
Can I ask a
question. Yes, you may.
What were some of those behaviors? Like, how did you see that you were not going to fit?
I was doing well, so it wasn't a matter of I was failing or anything like that. I loved the people I work with, so it wasn't a toxic environment. It was just, I felt I had a pull to go bigger. I had a pull to be able to reach more people and help more people. And while finance is a phenomenal field, I knew it wasn't the field I wanted to help people in. I didn't want to help people manage their portfolios or take care of the risk problems or anything like that. So for me, it was just the pull that I mean, it's that gut thing in my stomach. I was like, I want to help more in a different way.
Ooh, yeah. Shelby says we couldn't hear your question. Yeah, Isaac, submit your questions ahead of time, please.
Yeah. So Isaac's question was, what traits, like, what did I see that made me want to make that change? Yeah.
All right, we've got one from Kirsten on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Name a moment when you realized that you were you, and why?
Oh, name a moment I realized I was me and why. I don't know. I would say probably the first time I spoke to a large audience.
Okay.
So I've done, a lot of us that speak have started out doing workshops and things like that where it's small. But the first time I got on a stage where there were steps, where you had to walk up to the stage, and it was a bigger crowd. I think that was it. I'm like, oh, this is my thing. This is my people. So I get a lot of energy from that, which is making me sad during the quarantine, because so many of the big conferences and the speaking I had the opportunity to do aren't there right now. So that was the first one. I think that was when I was like, all right, this is it. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Nice. I love that.
Yeah.
How do you make tough decisions?
How do I make tough rock, paper, scissors? No, I'm just playing. How do I make tough decisions? I'm a gut decision person. I go with my gut. Because, and I've said this several times on the show for those of you guys who have been watching for years, the bonehead decisions I've made in life, personally and professionally, have come when I didn't listen to my gut. So if I have to make a big decision, I still T-chart everything and write down the pros and cons just because I feel like that's the right thing to do. And at the end of the day, I'm still going with my gut.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. Okay. This is one of mine. This is one of Whitney's questions.
Okay.
So, one of my other favorite books is The Art of Not Giving an F.
Yes.
By Mark
Hansen.
Yes.
Yep. Love that book.
I wanted to know, where do you give an F? Where do you, Chris and Andre, put your Fs?
I put okay, this is an easy one. I like this one. You thought it was going to be harder. It wasn't. My kids. I am the nicest person on the planet until you mess with my kids, and then it is a wrath you do not want to see. So I would say that's the main thing that will get me up in arms, is take a shot at one of my children.
Okay.
Or go low with me. That'll probably do the same thing. But yeah, that's where I put them. Okay. For sure.
Yeah, I was going to ask him, what about for you? Like when you're kind of looking at things or deciding what to do, where do you decide, like, this is something that I care about? I won't waver on this.
You mean as far as like business or what?
Yeah,
Just-
anything kind of just personal. Like if it's like if someone asks you to, like, as an example, if they said, "Hey, we want to pay you to come speak,"
Yeah.
and it wasn't what you knew you were worth, would you
Yeah.
do it just because you enjoy doing it, or would you like? Where do you put your
No.
F's?
So I would say with that, I mean, I know my worth professionally, and do I make exceptions to it? Yeah, but it's usually because it's a heartstring type of thing, and
Yeah.
I'm really trying to help people. So I would say I put them where. I mean, let's face it, I have a business. All of us want to make money in business. So I do put them where financially there's a benefit and I'm helping
Nice.
people at the same
Yeah.
time. Like I'm not just going to take money for the sake of taking money, but if I can have an impact and help people, that tends to be where I'll go.
Yeah.
It's like if I
Nice.
can do both things at the same time.
Nice.
Question on Facebook. Where is your most traveled destination, Kim Cooper?
Where's my what?
Most traveled destination. Kim
Most.
Must
Travel
to
destination. Okay, so
destination.
here, well, besides Italy, which we've said I was supposed to be in right now, Italy is my first, but because I've never been there and I've been learning Italian, so I think it'd be cool. Italy's my first, but closely behind, I want to go to one of those overwater bungalows in
Nice.
Bora Bora. Like I just think that's now obviously probably would look a little sad going by myself. So that one we're gonna punt out a little while until I have a travel companion. But that would be it because I think it's gorgeous. Like I am a water person. I know Italy, well, Amalfi Coast.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
anywhere with a gorgeous beach and some fantastic food and wine. So Italy first, Bora Bora second.
I love that.
So if
Nice.
anybody has any hookups, feel free to send them my way.
And Jason asked this could be different from my where do you put your F's, but Jason asked, what are your non-negotiables?
Non-negotiables. Okay, so my non-negotiables is, I would say, honesty and integrity. So if you don't have that, you are nowhere in my circle, like at all, personally, professionally,
Nice.
anything. So honesty and integrity is the very first thing. And the other non-negotiable, I would say, is authenticity. And when I say that, I know that's a broad term and it's really popular right now, but I just mean somebody that's being themselves, somebody that's fully embracing yourself. You can be the weirdest, craziest, off the wall person on the planet, but if you're you, I'm totally embracing it. Like I think that's like I love the weird, quirky, different people. So
Yeah.
that's it. So honesty, integrity, authenticity. That's a
Yes.
good question.
Yeah. Very good.
All these non-negotiables. Jeez. I like it.
All right, so I have two more. So if you want to get your questions into Kristen while she's under the
Microscope.
spotlight, literally
Under the
send them
microscope.
in. So the last two that we had come through, one more was anonymous, and then another was one of mine. This one was anonymous. On being a mother, what's one thing no one told you, but you sure wish they would have?
All right, here's real talk here, moms. Some days just suck. They suck. And the kids are not always going to love you like the sweet little children you think they're going to be. Because everybody's like, oh, it's so beautiful. You're going to love. Same thing with childbirth. They don't tell you about how it really is until you're done. And they're like, oh, yeah, well, like nobody warned me.
Yeah.
Because honestly,
Yeah.
if they did, no one would have children.
Yeah.
Like at all. So I think that's the thing is nobody told me is it's tough. It's not easy on most days. And I was reading an article yesterday about the pandemic. It was a single mom article, and I'm a single mom. So it was focused on how tough it is right now with trying, because, those of us that are single, and I get, I've had the comparison like, oh, my husband travels. It is not the same. It is totally not the same. You still have an emotional sounding board. You still have somebody that's there occasionally. So I think the thing people didn't tell us is it can be tough some days, and it's very lonely. So that's why I always encourage, like my mom friends, I will call and vent and text and do all that. Because if you don't have that and you keep it all inside, it can be a lot harder than we let on. And that's where people start having some challenges. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's what nobody told me. It's a tough job. I don't know if you moms agree that are listening, but it's worth it because, those hopefully our sweet little children grow up into responsible human beings, but it's getting them there is tough. It's not easy,
Yeah.
especially in today's world.
Yeah. That's why I say my parents only had one Kristen. They stopped at perfection.
Well, my mom, apparently the stories that have been told is my mom wanted 4. And then I guess when she had me, said, well, maybe 3. And then she had my brother who's younger. And then she's like, done.
That's it.
We're done. And knowing my brother and what he put my parents through, I was the good child. And he doesn't listen to this, so I can totally say that.
Yeah.
I don't think. We'll probably get a comment in a minute. But yeah, with what he put them through, like I could see why they stopped for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
too funny.
Yeah.
Jane Reed says, "Morning, ladies."
Hello, Jane Reed.
Good morning.
Yeah, awesome.
And Quavi's planning a girls' trip to Bora Bora, so
Okay,
you got
all right,
an extra
so-
seat or suitcase.
All right, so let me give a little shout out to Quavi here. Quavi plans. She's a health coach, but she also does wellness retreats for midlife women. And the next year it's in Greece.
Oh,
and
wow.
like these pictures are, I'm kind of toying with that one, but I think that'll probably be when I'm going to Italy. But like insanely gorgeous stuff. So it's kind of a curated like health and wellness trip. I'm like,
Nice.
I know.
Ooh.
Oh, Quavi, good to know.
Very nice.
I like the Bora Bora one. Very nice.
All right. Last one from me.
Okay.
What's one thing you do for you when, as a business owner, a leader, and a mom, you're always putting everyone else first?
What is one thing I do for me? I fail miserably at doing stuff for me. I totally do. It is an area of opportunity for me. So when I set out this year and did my planning, because obviously we have to plan it, this was 2020. You'll laugh. My business plan, when I did it at the end of last year, 2020 was going to be my year of fun. I labeled it the year of fun. I was like, this is it. I'm going to go do for me. It has not been a year of fun.
Yeah.
It's,
Yes.
there have been a few wrenches thrown. I mean, I'm still having some fun, but that's an area I'm not as good at. So I know one of the months we're talking about is self-care. And I will not be the pro speaker on this. We will have a lot of guests in. I don't know that I take time to do that as much. I mean, I'll go, for me, my recharge, I like to recharge by myself. But I also do like dinners with girlfriends. So like grabbing 3 or 4 girlfriends and just grabbing dinner. That's kind of it's not by myself, but it's a for myself thing, because that's where I get my energy replenished. And one of the things I do every week, and I got this idea from my friend Shelby, is I have one energizer per week on my list. So that means that I have a list of energizers, people that when I'm around them, they lift me up, they bring me, I always feel good. So one of those people have to be on my calendar each week. And it can be a phone call, it could be coffee, it could be drinks, whatever it is. That kind of keeps me. So that is one thing I do for myself. And I'm pretty consistent with that.
Nice.
Lisa Washington
Nice.
says, "Hi, ladies."
Lisa Washington. Got all my girls, all my favorite girls here this
Joining.
morning. I love it. I love it.
And Shelby says she loves the dinners.
Love the dinner. We have some dinner. I have some dinners coming up for birthday week, birthday month, birthday year. We're just going to extend it the whole year.
Yeah, I
I
love
really
it.
feel like if I can get a vote from the audience, since my birthday fell during 2020, which everybody's did, I
Yeah.
think we should get a mulligan and get to celebrate for the whole year.
I agree with
Right?
that.
I mean, this
agree
is
with that.
50. I feel like at 50, I can make my own rules.
That's very true.
So that's what I'm going
Yeah.
with. We'll be celebrating for the remainder
Done.
of the next
Yeah.
12 months.
I love it.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
very cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's our first Renew show.
All right, so those weren't bad questions. First of all, thank you guys. I'm impressed.
I feel
I
like
didn't
you
get
should-
put on the hot seat for anything too
I
bad.
feel like you should leave us with like one more overall Kristen Andre 2020 word of wisdom.
Okay. I was thumbing through my thing because
Yeah. Ooh.
here's my word. I've got a couple.
Okay.
One, on the positive side, I want everybody to fully, and this is one of the commitments I'm making to myself now that I've reached the half-century mark, which sounds so freaking old, but I'm so excited about it. Now that I've reached this half-century mark, one of my commitments to me is to stand out. I mean, I'm a big personality. We've discussed that before. But to continue to stand out and just be me, be unapologetically me. And I wrote this quote in my journal, so I'm going to read it because I think it's fantastic. Coco Chanel, obviously we're quoting fashion here, right? Said, "In order to be irreplaceable, one must always be different." So my parting words of wisdom, part one, is if you haven't figured out what it is that's different about you, use these next 12 months, and we'll help you through the podcast with all these topics. Use these next 12 months to figure that out and to become irreplaceable, personally, professionally, financially, everything. Just be different. So that's part one. And then part two is one of the quotes. I said this in the book, and I use it all the time. As you're thinking through your life, wherever that takes you, again, I always focus personal, professional, financial. If you're not happy with something, you need to change it. So the phrase I always use with people is, if you're not proactively doing something to change your life for the better, you forfeit the right to complain about it. So I want everybody to remember that, because we've got a lot that we've complained about and have been reason to this last year. But as we're going forward, we're coming out of this. So as we're going forward, if you're not doing anything to proactively change, get better, to renew your life, you forfeit the right to complain about it. So I think if people keep those two things in mind, how can I be different and what am I doing to move forward? That's my parting words of wisdom as we embark on our renew year over the next 12 months.
I think we declare September 1, 2020 as the official start of 2020.
I think we are. I think we will get a unanimous vote, I'm pretty sure. So I think we could do that. Let's do that. I mean, so let's start now. And again, Whitney and I and Isaac have put together like the next 12 months of topics, and we're going to dive into everything. So, I mean, comment here and let me know kind of what you want to see. We've got tons of categories mapped out already. So we already know what the categories are. But I'll read you through them. Business, health and wellness, finances, mindset, family, relationships, self-care, leadership, impact, your personal brand, fun, and then we'll wind up with your overall or whole self. So any topics or any questions you have of any of those, post them, and we'll make sure we get some great guests to come in and talk about each of these. Because my goal is a year from now, when I'm 50 and 364 days, we're all going to be in so much better place, because I think we've got a lot of life ahead of us, so we might as well have some fun with it.
Yeah.
And if we want to rock some parachute pants while we're having fun, I think that will definitely make us stand out.
We're going to plan this.
So next time we're going to bring the camera angles out a little bit, Whitney, and I'll have some nice little parachute pants on. The thing is, for those of you guys who don't know, they don't give. It is literally parachute material. That is thus the name. So they don't stretch. So we might need to size up. I don't know. They're not going to be as giving. So it will be interesting, but I will commit to ordering me a pair of parachute pants if we can find them.
I'm down.
All right.
We're going to bring the stream back.
We're on it. All right. Well, thank you guys. Whitney, thank you. Thank you. And Isaac, hey, everybody that submitted questions to us, thank you so much. So until next week, when we're diving in for our new Renew, where you learn to reclaim your life without losing your edge, you guys make it a great week. Let us know any questions or topics you want to hear, and we will talk with you next week. Take care.